Hi again, it's me, Alyse Diamond, formerly Alyse Neibaur, and I'm here to read to you my first memoir. We're going to start with chapter 1, but I'm going to go over a few things in the first pages of the book before we do that. So, here we go. Raised by Narcotics, Growing Up in the Opioid Epidemic by Alyse Neibaur, or Diamond. This is my first copy ever of this book, and it's actually the only copy I have in my home. So it's actually very special to me because it feels like a rare item now. Even though I know I could order some more, this specific book is important because it was the first one that I got in the mail, and then, as all authors do, I signed it to myself, which is a little dorky, but what I wrote to myself when I signed it was, "Every time I make a wish, I wish to have a long and happy life with my family. To everyone I've ever loved, love, Alyse." And it's not untrue. Every time you go through a bridge and hold your breath, through a tunnel and hold your breath, or across a bridge, or throw a penny into a wishing well, or blow on a dandelion. Every time I ever had a chance to make a wish, I always said, "I wish to have a long and happy life with my family," because unfortunately, many members of my family have passed away, and it was always very important to me to do that long and happy life thing. My editors were Julie Swearingen and Keith Gordon. Julie has been a good friend for the last few years, and I really appreciate her help with this book. She did the developmental editing and for both of these books, actually. The cover design is by Melissa Williams Designs, and she's one of my very best friends in the entire world. I absolutely adore her. She has helped me tremendously, not just with book design and formatting, but understanding the publishing business and what it means to self-publish. I really leaned on her a lot. She knows a great deal about the book industry, and she's been very helpful. And then, of course, my dedication for Jane, Teresa, and Diane. And Jane was my grandmother, Teresa was my aunt, and Diane was my mom. And they each had a hand in raising me and have unfortunately all passed away. But that's why this book was written. It's a little bit of their story. On the next page, I wrote an author's note, and I'll read that first. "I have done my best to give you an accurate telling of events that have occurred in my life. These events are colored in my own emotion and perspective, and any truth I share is subjective. While all the stories in this book are true, some names and identifying details have been changed to protect the privacy of the people involved. The only permanent truth is death." That's a little dramatic. So, chapter 1, social media. I find myself opening Facebook for what must be the 1,000th time today. I might be a little addicted, and not even to my own friends, if you can even call them that, but to the pages I follow that share stupid memes, GIFs, and videos. I waste a sizable portion of my life staring at my phone without any discernible reason, just throwing minutes and hours of my life away. On this particular day, I come across the Utah satire page. It's one of my favorites, and 99% of the time I find it absolutely hilarious. It's full of jokes or memes about Mormons and Utah culture in general. It's so funny to me because I've grown up here, despite my constant daydreaming that I could escape. I've always hated Utah, although as I've become an adult, I realize it's not Utah I hate, it's the people. But I wonder, do I just hate people? Am I just so shy and introverted that I would have an equal distaste for all people no matter where I go? I honestly don't know if I'll ever be able to answer that. I don't think people are bad. I just don't like to be around any of you. These social platforms, for me at least, seem to make these daily interactions more manageable. I can still be included in your daily life even if I never show up. Which is another reason why I love the Utah Satire page. We all can have a good laugh at our neighbors without having to spend time with them. Because let's face it, we've all seen it. We get it. It's hilarious and so true. The Mormons really do love their green jello. All my friends are addicted to Diet Coke. And my favorite condiment is fry sauce. No joke. Ha ha ha. So this was the post for the day. Utah Satire. Post one thing Utahns can't live without. Attached to this caption was a photo of an old school game show host holding his mic out to his contestant. The first commenter, aka game show contestant, stated, "Diet Coke and prescription painkillers. Laughing so hard I'm crying emoji." This first comment was followed by jokes about funeral potatoes, driving badly, judging people, at-home pyramid scheme businesses, having 18 children, and much more. We can all have a good laugh over these Utah stereotypes. Except this time, I'm not laughing. Instead, I'm scrolling the comments. A few give me a quick chuckle, but I'm counting. I'm counting how many have liked that first painkiller comment or posted their own comment about painkillers. There are a lot. A few have added their own sad face with a tear emoji, and I debate adding my own. For many of us watching this thread, there's so much truth in these comments that it's literally painful, and on such a deep level that we can't express ourselves fully. There's nothing adequate. Even our words would fall flat on deaf ears. And all we're left with is a stupid little teary-eyed emoji. What can we say? We get the joke. We understand the stereotype. It's funny because it's true, but it hits so close to home that suddenly you can't breathe. Suddenly you want to find all those people laughing until they cry and punch them in their little emoji noses. Why don't you see how funny that is? A tear falls from my eye. What the people commenting on this Facebook thread don't know, what they will never know from a stupid laughter emoji, is that my family is dead, and no amount of commenting or social media style therapy will bring them back. What would my family think of all this anyway? How painful would it have been for them to see these types of discussions online, their deepest regrets in life whittled down into a joke on social media? It has taken me years to get to this point in my writing. I've started and restarted this book dozens of times. I've even written the entire thing in the form of a journal entry, an angsty diary where no one understands my pain and I wish either I could die or everyone around me could die. The pain is ceaseless, unending, forever. It runs deep and it feels maddening. I am completely off my rocker. I'm a lunatic. I've gone off the deep end. I'm obsessed with something that no one can fix. I can't bring them back from the dead. Everything around me is broken, and I'm sitting in a pile of ashes with people all around me reaching their hands out to save me. And I sit here stubbornly trying to sift through the tiny pieces of burnt nothingness. I'm trying desperately to put together an image of something that might resemble anything close to what I went through or what I once had. No one knows how I got here, how I came to sit in my ashy remains, the rubble that everyone just wants to pull me out of and sweep off to the side. But I want to make them see what my life once was. My hands are filthy. My focus is entirely on this and nothing else. I can't sleep. I can't breathe because it fills my lungs with every breath. I'm afraid to cry, to dampen and ruin what's been left to me. I am in charge now, no one else. I am left with this huge responsibility to piece it all back together, make something out of the ashes of the lives of the people that have disintegrated around me, and show the world what a mess we've made. I'm a mother now, a wife. I have a family I'm afraid of neglecting, a family that I pull into because the rest of the world doesn't understand me. But neither do these children or this man who has struggled for years to have a normal relationship with the woman he saved from a bad situation. He admitted to me that he thought it was something that could be fixed and let go, something that could be set aside and forgotten. Am I hurting him by wishing he could understand too, knowing full well that he never will? What about my children? They play too many video games. I don't spend enough time with them. And I'm here wasting my life writing words that the world will never see or care about. What am I doing? I'm passionate about a thing that I wish I didn't care about. I don't have to write this. I don't have to care about it. I can move on. I can raise my family, go on vacations every summer, work only because I'm bored, not because I'm broke. I can sip too many lattes, fill my time at the gym, and judge my friends for their lack of discipline and unhealthy lifestyles. I'm rich. I'm bored. I'm an entitled millennial. I don't have to give one shit about any of this. They're dead. There's nothing I can do. I can live freely and be whoever I please. I can learn from their mistakes and laugh until I cry emoji at every stupid Utah stereotype that I've lived through. Ha 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 ha. It's so goddamn funny because it's true. Originally, I was going to write this book like I'm a person the world knows, and you all care enough about my story to read it. The problem with that is, and I've only just discovered this through my own readings of the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I think a lot of you have probably read that book. That you probably don't care enough about your own damn self to read a book about the snooze fest of my life story. Why should you care? I don't expect you to. And that's why I haven't been able to finish what I've started over and over and over again. What do you care about? You care about fixing your life. You care about what you believe in. Having your words heard and not falling flat all over the ass cracks of Facebook or Twitter, now X. I don't use either of those platforms anymore. People don't care about you any more than they care about me, but we all care about something. And, well, unfortunately, this is my something. I have to stop trying so hard and just get the words out. I had stumbled on a Facebook page I follow, and it made me want to hide in my bedroom and cry to myself. It reminded me that I've lost everything I ever knew, and now I take everything around me for granted. It reminded me that I'm weak and unable to hold myself together, even though someone was only joking around. I gotta do something about this. So that's chapter 1. Oh boy, how do I feel about that? I think it still kind of rings true. I want to state that I don't hate people. I am shy and introverted naturally, but I think part of the reason is because of my trauma. I actually think can be pretty extroverted in the right situation. And I enjoy being around people. I enjoy the patients I see. I've enjoyed the clients I've worked with. I've learned a lot about people and I really enjoy them. I think at this time in my life when I wrote this book, I was really angry. It was really difficult for me to be around pretty much anyone because either I envied what they had that I didn't have. They had parents. That's enough. I didn't have parents. I was miserable in my life and I knew I could coast. And, sometimes I did, but coasting was so depressing. I felt like I wasn't living my life. So that part where I say I could, I was rich. My ex-husband's family was very wealthy and they took us on vacations and I berated myself. Why can't I just be okay? Why can't I just move on and enjoy what I have? That is so complicated. That is so complicated because I was dealing with so much grief. I couldn't make sense of anything. I didn't want to be around anyone because it was the only thing I could think about. And when it's the only thing you can think about, it's really hard to have an interaction with the people around you because you end up talking about it, but you don't want to. So you get really emotional and make people feel really uncomfortable really quickly. And otherwise, I didn't know what to say to people. I didn't know how to interact. I didn't know how to be around people. I had a few close friends and I stuck with them, but I kind of kept to myself. And there's a few reasons for that. I was really hurting. I was really bad. How do you lose so much of your family and be a normal person? You don't. Okay, you don't. So I think there's an aspect here of giving yourself some grace, and allowing yourself to feel what you feel and not projecting that onto other people, which I definitely did a lot of. I projected my emotions onto others quite often. This coming January 24th will mark the 13th anniversary of my mother's death, and she was the last of the three of them to pass away. So it's been a really long time, and I am a much different person today than I was those 13 years ago, or even 6 years ago when I ended up officially publishing this. If you have questions, you want to talk about this chapter, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer whatever you guys throw at me. Just remember, try to be kind. It's a journey, and there's a lot left. But yeah, I'm also here to support anyone going through that. This is all less fresh for me than it might be for someone else. So it's easier for me to read today than it would have been 6 years ago when I would get teary-eyed or start sobbing in the middle of reading the words. I don't think that'll probably happen this time, but who knows, it might. The point is, I feel a lot stronger. I feel a lot more capable. I've gained a lot. I've gained a lot of support. I've been able to do a lot of therapy. I've been able to find ways to cope with everything I think and experience. So if you find yourself in this situation like what I'm writing about, just send me a message, and I'll do what I can to smooth some of those hard edges for you. That's all we can do right now. All right, look forward to chapter 2. I'll see you soon.